Welcome to the FX Masterclass, and my name is Ernest Rowe. Today's topic, we're going to reassemble the Crown MKII. Before we get started, make sure you go to the FX website, look at the MKII Crown diagram, and install all O-rings and lubed up and ready to go. So makes this process a little faster. Alright, let's get started. Alright, first component we're going to install is the probe carriage and cocking handle assembly. Just lay it down. Now, this pin is kind of tricky to get it in, right? So you need something to keep the holes aligned so it'll be easier to slide in. I kind of use this hole here and align with the cocking lever so it's easier to align your pin. Alright. And gradually push it all the way in. Alright. And push it till it stops. Then we'll grab our set screw right here so the pin stays in place. Just slightly tighten it down. Alright. Now you're gonna put the hammer spring, and your hammer spring adjuster. Have it all like this and insert it. And have this aligned straight up so we could put the adjuster here aligned to the slot. Then we're going to tighten the screw back here. Keep and tighten down to snug, hand snug. Now we're going to put the shear and trigger assembly. Now this is going to be a little tricky here because you got to hold this and trying to align the pin like that. But there's holes here on the action got to align also. Usually I try to get the pin in first. And one is kind of has chamfer on it. That goes in there first. Then kind of hold it like that. You kind of move it around, align it. Like that. And the second pin in the middle goes right here. And the pin is for your trigger assembly. And align the spring behind the shear. Push it down and we'll pin it. And we're going to pin the Pac-Man. Like that. Now we want to cycle this, make sure everything is working. Alright. Now we're going to assemble power wheel section. It's right here. We're going to push the inner transfer port into place. And there's a rubber ball here. Now, the key point is, see the slot right here? And the set screw sits on that slot. And you'll see it right here. the set screw sits here. So that's alignment. That's to ensure the transfer ports align vertical. Kind of slide it in. Transfer port facing up. Now you look through this hole, make sure in that little divot there where the set screws sit on. Sometimes I like to verify. Okay, put it in. Just hand tight. You don't want to push it too tight because you want to keep it all the way back. Set screw aligning the transfer port, and don't tighten it yet till I put the screw on. And kind of tight. Then fully seat the set screw. Flip it over. You install the wheel. Make sure your spring, ball bearing, sitting on top of the spring. All right. Make sure the 30 cal is facing at this arrow because the transport's already lined up and down. And it's square here, so and this fitting in the back is also square. Like that. Now, test it out, rotates, make sure it clicks in each position. All right. Now we're going to put the valve seat assembly in. We're going to put the valve seat in. And make sure the chamfer where the seat sits on is facing outward like that. And you feel it snap in place. Verify it is sitting flush. Install a valve pin. The spring. It's called a spring retainer, the top hat. Then you have your O-ring here. Have it assembled like that. Then screw it in by hand. I'm going to tighten down gently, lightly. Don't have to be really tight. Just like that. Now, we'll put in the bottle adapter. You don't need to put a Loctite on this, but make sure you tighten it pretty tight. Since we don't have a vise here to hold it stationary, we're just going to do hand tight for now. Use a deep well socket, 24 mil. We'll tighten it down. All right, now we flip it over. We'll put the regulator in. Make sure you got there's 11 washers in here, spring washers. 5's in pair, 1 is single, and a cup is facing out. We could do it this way also. If you don't have the tool, just slide it in. Then push it down. You hear a snap, like that. Make sure the spring is flat, not cockeyed. Then we'll put the reg body on. Just hand tight. There. Reg adjustment screw. You want to screw this lightly all the way in and back it out about 2 turns. That'll get you around close to 100 bar. Alright, then we'll put the gauge on. Alright, maybe it's easier to put the fill chock Foster in first. Alright, make sure the piston's in there, O-rings in place. Because you need leverage on this to tighten it down. The gauge will be in the way. Just gonna do a hand tight on this. Now I gotta put the gauge on. Now we're going to pressure test this. When you feel you're compressing the quad ring, just kind of zero the gauge. All right, we're going to pressurize it. Make sure it holds seal before you put all the assemblies together. So there you got 200 bars. You don't hear no audible leakage. Unscrew it. Now you just gotta be careful. Your plenum is pressurized, so don't be accidentally cocking and fire it. It'll wake you up. All right, now we'll put the power wheel after we put the stock on, and your safety. All right, I had a little tape here to make sure I didn't lose my screws. Slide it in this way. You want to lightly tighten the screws because we need to put then safety and the power wheel on. So safety. And there's a slot here. Make sure you're aligned with the slot. Whatever's positioned at is on fire. Don't have to be really tight. Just tight enough it doesn't seize the wheel. Safety switch. Flip it over. Gotta make sure. Alright, when there's no bottle pressure to keep the valve shut, it will dump the plenum anytime it wants to. That's what that noise is, the bleed. Alright. And make sure all 2 springs are on there. Alright. Here we see it. There's one there and here, and the ball bearing. Alright. The easiest part is to align the ball bearings because they're at like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock. You kind of estimate where the balls are, kind of align it, and push against it. And kind of rotate it. You feel a little click, click. You need to put the screw in, tighten it down. just tight enough it doesn't seize the power wheel. Tight. And cycle it. Have a click. All right. Now we'll put the bottle back on. You can put the barrel on or the bottle first. It doesn't matter which sequence. So it's getting pressurized. Tie it down. Always not to over tighten the bottle. Just when it stops, that's it. All right. And you'll put the barrel on. Your transit port is facing down. And you see the brass piece here sticking out. That means you're all the way in. Alignment pin is aligned with the slot. We're going to lightly tie down the barrel screws. Here, you don't want to over crank it. You just hold it like this. You just want to butt up against the barrel like that. And the other one, flip it over, put it against the barrel. Then you torque it down equally, a little bit. And the other side, kind of crisscross it. All right, and you don't need to tighten this down. Usually they're Loctite in there. After you shoot, it doesn't really blow air. If it does blow air, you need to Loctite this or lightly butt this in. I don't recommend really butting it in because you'll hit the other transport. You might deform the other transport. Just kind of lightly butt it in. That's it. Don't over crank it. There you go. Crown MKII fully assembled. I will catch you next video. If you have any questions or comment, drop a line. All right. Catch you next time.